Hello, I'm Eduardo Calvo-Salinas from SPU Men's Soccer.
Eduardo, last game out was a wild one, a great 3-goal comeback by your team. Didn't get the result you wanted, but thoughts on that game?
It was a very emotional game. I thought we played well after we conceded 2 goals, which it kind of brought out the urgency factor in us, because after going down 2 goals, we knew we had to come back and put a good show for the home crowd, and I think we did that, and it was tough to let that one go at the end.
It sure was. So you're trailing Concordia-Portland 2-0 at halftime. Alden Massey and Alex Mejia, your teammates, get 2 goals to level it. Then you get the game win, or not the game winner, the go-ahead goal. And just talk about that. A lot of traffic. There was a rebound. Describe what happened on that play.
Yeah, we had talked about it at halftime about switching the point of attack and finding the weak side. So I think it was Alden or Alex who found me. And then I put in the ball in the box, and I didn't think it was a great ball, but Tito somehow got at the end of that. And he tried to get a shot off, and the ball fell right to me, and I thought about hitting it first time, but it was my weak foot, so I wanted to make sure I got the shot on target. So I kind of took a touch with my right foot and then just placed it as well as possible. I looked up, and there was 3 guys of their team on the line and their goalkeeper, so I tried to put it somewhere where they wouldn't get to, and it worked out.
Certainly did. Amazing you had the kind of composure with that much. So you do in that, during the frenzy of that activity in the box, you're able to look up and pick a spot, you put it where you want it to?
Mm-hmm.
That's remarkable. Yeah. Your first goal as a Falcon, you had a nice sprinting celebration after and looking at the crowd. But what did you feel after putting it on the back of the net?
It was a really special game for me because my parents had come up to watch, and I got my first goal. So as soon as I scored that goal, I knew I wanted to do it for them and show them some appreciation. So it was awesome. Was
wondering who you were pointing to in the stand, so that explains it. Great. Well, unfortunately, a late regulation goal to give up, and then a golden goal, and Concordia wins it. But team scored 3 goals in each game last week, and including a 3-1 win at St. Martin's. What is it that's clicking about the offense right now?
I think so far it's been a tough year because we're a young group and we're a little bit unexperienced. But as things are going on and we're playing some really tough teams, which will help us next year too. But we're just learning as a whole and as a group and staying confident in our abilities and believing in the team, because we do have a lot of talented players on the team. We just have to make sure everyone's doing the right thing and no one's taking steps backwards, and believing in each other and playing together is when things go best for us. So I think we've started to play better with each other, and understanding each other better on the field has definitely led to more goals.
Great. You mentioned playing tough teams. The NCAA puts out rankings, and SPU's schedule is ranked as the toughest in the nation.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any easier this week as you play 2 teams at the top of the table, both of who beat you here in Seattle. First place, Western Washington on Thursday, and then Simon Fraser Saturday. What's going to be the key to success in those rematches?
We played those 2 teams our first 2 games of the conference, and it was tough to lose both of those games because I felt we played really well and dominated in both games, actually, so we should have put them away. But we do know how we have to play. We try to play out the back in possession-based soccer, so we just have to play to our strengths and make sure to follow the game plan to finish them off.
You're correct about playing real well in those 2 just great long stretches of soccer, playing well. The key in both of them, both those opponents scored first, and that's been a trend this year. How is the team going to, stop giving up early goals and give the offense a chance?
Yeah, we've talked about that because it has been true that we've conceded early goals in many games. So we've tried to fix that a little bit in the recent games and coming into the game more focused and dialed in, and without making any silly mistakes in the back, kind of just playing for territory in the first 5 minutes, settling down, and then just starting to play for the rest of the games. And then in those 2 games, something that was also crucial was finishing. We did have a lot of chances and we controlled the game, we just didn't put it away. So something to work on and focus on this week in training will be finishing for sure.
Great, that sounds good. Let's talk a little about yourself. First, tell us where you were born.
I was born in Madrid, Spain.
And how long did you live there?
I lived there up until I was 15 years old when I moved to California.
So the question for those of us not as familiar, there are two very big soccer clubs there, football clubs. How does one decide whether to become an Atletico or Real fan?
That's a tough question. I come from a mostly Real Madrid family, but I'm an Atletico fan and I'm a diehard one, so I don't really appreciate or like any Real Madrid fans. But it's been kind of tough since I was little because most people in Madrid and a lot in Spain and in the world are Real Madrid fans. So being that Atletico fan sometimes is tough because our history is not as good as Real Madrid's, and even in the present they've been a little better. But it always feels good to be a part of them.
Yeah. So do you recall why you chose Atletico? Was it just to be different from the family, or what went into that choice for you?
My dad and my aunt and my uncle are big Atletico de Madrid fans, and like ever since I was a kid, like I went to games with my dad and my aunt, and I was already wearing like jerseys and stuff like that. And as soon as I like realized the type of soccer team and culture they brought, like I felt identified with it, so I decided to root for them, and I also played with them, so that helped too.
Yeah. And lastly, on that topic, is there a current or former Atletico player that is your favorite?
I've always liked Diego Costa because of how gritty and like how tough and hardworking he is. Like he overcame a bad injury, an ACL injury, back in like I think it was 2014 or 2012, and he wasn't the best, and even Atletico fans like didn't really like him at the time. Then he went on loan. They brought him back after like 2 years, and he was amazing. Like he just works really hard, is really passionate, and even though sometimes he might be doing silly stuff on the field, it just shows like his passion and how he plays. That's just who he is.
Sure, that's great. And then talk about when your move to the U.S., how that came about.
So my mom's American, and we've come to the U.S. ever since I was a kid. She's from California and a small community in Oakland called Piedmont, and my grandparents still live there. And I decided to move to California, to the U.S. mainly to go to college and look to find a career both athletically and academically. And it was the best opportunity for me. Like my older sister was finishing high school in Spain, so she was going to be a senior, and she had already decided she wanted to come to the U.S. to study in college, so I thought that would be a great opportunity for me as well. And since in the U.S. college is both athletics and academics, that was like a perfect blend for me, because in Spain it doesn't work like that. You either choose the athletic or the academic route.
Sure.
So it was just...
So out of high school, you went to the University of Portland, redshirted a year, and then played, and then decided to transfer to Seattle Pacific. Why did you want to become a Falcon?
Honestly, like I talked a lot with Reed Baez, who's a former player here at SPU and graduated last year, and he talked really highly of the program, the school, the coaching staff, the players, and I came on a visit and met a lot of the players, the coaching staff, saw the facilities, the campus and everything, and kind of fell in love with the campus and the culture here.
Great. Well, we're glad you came here, and we appreciate your time here. Congratulations on the great goal, and hope you get some more this week.
Thank you very much.